Hi, this is Stevie for the LA Story, and this might look a little different from the last interview that you saw regarding Oscars. We kind of do things differently. We're at a suite called TMG. Lots of great brands here, but one of the most interesting brands that I've found, and there's also a podcast that will have run before this, by the time you see this, on Marc Mondavi's divining rod that I had with Marc. And we have his wife Janice Mondavi here, that we're going to talk about the wine, the divining rods a little bit, and kind of let's talk about the brand, because I've just had some of this great wine, and I'm not going to drink too much because I haven't had anything to eat, which is kind of the way I roll on, when it comes to award season. I don't eat because I'm too busy running from place to place. As my friend Lisa can attest, we haven't eaten anything. I don't think we've had anything. Nothing. Okay, she just verified that.
Sure.
And we've been all over. And so this is kind of cool. So we're really liking this. Here, you need a sip of this too. As we share this. So Janice, thank you for making the time to speak to us today.
My pleasure.
So what did you bring for people to sample today?
So it's a divining rod. It's our Alexander Valley Cabernet.
Okay.
And then our San Alycia Highlands Chardonnay. And we've had all these young little starlets and actors coming through. It's been quite fun, very entertaining. It's a world that we're not familiar with up north. But what a nice reception we've had. Everybody is enjoying the wine. We're enjoying the reception that we're receiving from them.
Excellent.
So,
well, it's great wine.
It is. And Marc is a dowser. This was a label and a brand that we put together about a year ago under the Peter Mondavi Senior Family portfolio. And dowsing is water witching. So he has the ability to take, rods, little copper rods, and find water in the ground, and he can determine how deep water may be existing in the ground, and determine how much water and gallonage that they can pump up. And of course, water is needed to grow our grapes.
It's essential.
We produce this with. Yes, yeah. It's absolutely essential.
It's essential.
Yes.
No water, no rain. You're screwed.
Yes.
It's true. And if you go back to the podcast, if you want to, actually you should, go back to the podcast where Marc goes into great detail about how he does his dowsing and his water witching, because it's really a fascinating story. What I thought was going to be 20 minutes we were on the phone for 30 or some minutes, and it was really fun. Anyways, so it's one of those things that you definitely want to hear, because he's talking about how he does it, so you get a real snapshot of what you must be living with on a daily basis.
A little bit. Excuse me. With him, yes. But the dowsing, he did probably water witches maybe a dozen times a year. He does this in the valley, Napa Valley, of course, with some of our vintner friends, as well as for the family vineyards. Goes into the Central Valley and performs it as well. And is fairly successful with it. But living in the wine industry and with the family and in the industry is just, it's fun, it's unique, it's never boring. It seems to be a moving target and changing all the time.
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
It does. And the fact is that you've got two, the Chardonnay is really great. And how would you describe the Cabernet?
Now, well, the Chardonnay, I'm going to back up just a little bit, is an unoaked Chardonnay.
Okay.
So we try to make sure that the varietal characters are very fruit forward and very fresh. And you get a little bit of that peach, a little bit of citrus through there as well. It's just a very refreshing and easily approachable Chardonnay. The Cabernet is Alexander Valley again. And this is kind of a cherry, a little bit of blackberry and pepper. Because he's come through on that.
That's awesome.
So,
that's awesome. Alexander Valley is a location, an area within the Napa Valley. So you actually have to get on a map and look at different areas within Northern California and find Napa and find all Sonoma. It's between Sonoma and Napa. So that should give you in Northern California. So go start learning some geography here, people, because this is serious wine. Okay, most people don't know this. Geography is up there is critical, because if you don't have the right soil, you can't grow it. And different microclimates make all the difference.
Yes.
It changes the wine.
Yes. And again, we released this about a year ago. It's been successful. It's been a fun project, very mystical. You can see the label behind me.
Yes.
It's very intriguing. that millennial group seems to really enjoy it, so we're quite happy about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So more coming, more different kinds?
They're working on a couple of blends now. I can't tell you what they are. We're still in the developing stages.
Okay.
But yes, there will probably be another red out in another 6 months. So.
Just in time for Christmas.
Yes, yes.
Yes, we like that.
For the holidays.
For the holidays, holiday gifting and holiday drinking, which is really important. We like to do that.
Yeah.
It's fun. So how is it for you? I mean, you weren't born into this family. You married into it. I mean,
Yes.
that must have been quite the off the diving board.
Well, you know, back then Robert Mondavi family was still getting established, so the name wasn't as prolific as it is now. And again, we're the other side of the family, the Peter Mondavi senior side of the family. So I didn't have to really deal with that aspect of it as much.
Okay.
Also, too, I grew up in an agricultural background, so and actually worked in the wine industry before I met my husband and before we were married. So it's been.
You get you.
Well, I understood the terrain, you might say, and the terroir. But I think our 4 daughters have had a little bit more of a challenge with this situation because the name has become so prominent and so well known. But they're dealing with it very well, and 3 of them are in the industry, 2 work for the business now. And
Nice.
We have made it mandatory that they work outside of the family business before they come in, which is a must. And I think it's been very successful for the 2 that have come in. One is an assistant winemaker for another very high-end winery, and she's still enjoying what she's doing where she's at. So I think it'll be a
Awesome.
few more years before
Yeah.
she comes in, and the 4th is still in college. So, and it's making sure that the legacy continues and keeps going forward.
That's terrific. That's
Thank you.
really terrific.
Thank you.
I mean,
It is. We're very proud of that. And again, they're the 4th generation coming into it.
Can you imagine that, people? 4th generation? That's not often that you hear about a 4th generation family business. And that's kind of where wineries and winemaking really gets into the history of California, because the history of California is, particularly in terms of winemaking, it is always been kind of, except for the fact that usually a lot of brands get sold out to other bigger, corporations, but they get started by families. And this is an important aspect of California history.
Yes, and we'll be around for another couple of generations.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, we'll
Absolutely.
plan on it.
That's awesome. So when you do things like where you have put together recipes or menus of how to pair up wines?
We do.
Okay.
We have a great marketing and PR staff behind us that help us. They give us ideas, and then we help follow through with it. It's a full program. I mean, whether it's marketing and PR or actually being here in person doing and introducing ourselves and the product with the family name behind it. And it's a very involved family. All of us are out on the road and traveling and meeting and greeting and following through with the different labels that are involved with the family.
Awesome.
So it's fun. It's a way of life. Well, it is, and it's a family touch. I mean, it's very much of a family business.
Yes. And that's
and I'm very proud of that. I know my husband is too.
well, and that's one of the beauties of it, is that it's still a family business in this day of corporate everything.
Yes.
And even in the wine industry, but that's where the wine industry started, with family
It
vineyards.
It did.
And that's the whole history behind it.
Yes. And our family started in 1943, actually in the wine business. And prior to that, Marc's grandfather was in the grape shipping business to home winemakers. So we've been in the business
Long
since
time.
the turn of the century,
Yeah.
for quite a while.
Yeah. So pretty special.
Yes, thank you. It is.
Very
It is.
special. That's very impressive. You have a website,
Yes, we do.
diviningrod.com.
Yes.
Okay. And can people order wine, or can they just find it in their local stores?
They can find it in the local stores.
Okay.
There may be a posting on the website that tells you where to find it in your local stores, or which local stores in your region. But we are widely distributed.
Okay.
We did introduce it about a year ago, and we've made a full concerted effort in the last about 3 or 4 months to spread it out a bit more. And it's been successful. Once it's on the shelf, it seems to be moving.
Awesome.
And so it's very exciting for us.
Yeah, it is. It's like seeing another kid being born, only different.
Well, it is. The last label and last new label that we introduced was 75 years ago.
Oh,
So
whoa.
this is a new child being born.
Yeah.
This is like the grandchild of the grandchild being born.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yes.
That's a great deal.
Yes.
So, people, we'd like to thank Janice for her time today. Divining rod is, I like it. I like it a lot. I have the Chardonnay. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, this is really tasty, and it's worth drinking anytime. Okay. Cabernet, if you love reds, Cabernets this is a really great one, and it's not so overwhelming as some Cabernets can be. But what I would suggest that you do, go buy it and try it for yourself, and then post on the blog what you think.
Yes.
And let them know. But I mean, quite frankly, that's the proof.
Yes, it would be. Salute. Thank you, Stevie.
So this is Stevie for the LA Story, thanking Janice Mondavi for her time and Divining Rod for their time. And this is saying, see you soon, people. Bye.